Want to know how I turned my crochet hobby into a successful handmade crochet business? Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Karen Viloria-Miguel, owner and founder of Canada Bliss handmade crochet hats and accessories, and welcome to my YouTube channel, the best place for crochet business, talk, and all things handmade. If this is your first time on the channel or you haven't hit subscribe yet, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and along the way give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, or leave a comment on anything that you find interesting or enjoy. If you would like the best information on how I grew my handmade crochet business, then be sure to stay to the end because I'll be telling you the top 3 things that really made an impact on my crochet business. Now let's get going. Starting a business from turning your hobby into a business is entirely a possible feat. My story of how I got started, if you watch this video, you'll know that I was crocheting since a very young age. And then through the years, I just kind of like dabbled in it. I treated it a lot like a hobby. And then it wasn't until I started having kids and a family that I got the desire to create it into a handmade crochet business. There's certain perspectives that change once you decide to switch your hobby into a business. For example, the biggest thing is that you have to get used to the idea that you're going to be crocheting on demand for other people, even when you may not feel like crocheting that day, which is totally different from a hobby, because when you're hobbying, you usually do it because you want to or you have spare time. But if you're a business, you have to make the time and you have to be sure you set that time aside to fill your orders. So once you get your head around that aspect of the business, then there's a whole bunch of other things that you have to do to make sure that you're efficient or your business runs well. And that opens up all new doors and decisions that have to be made. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I know that I was overwhelmed a bit with all the decisions that had to be made, like the supplies I had to buy and what I should make, and so many, like the decisions are endless. And then you can get a little bit overwhelmed looking at what other people are doing, and then you get into like a mad spiral of comparing yourself to what it is that other people are doing that you want to achieve. The best thing to do, and this is what I would advise to you, and this is what I did for myself. I thought about how I live my life, what I enjoyed about my business, what I enjoyed about the craft, and what I wanted to do. I really enjoy crocheting, so I really want to make that the focus of my business. I also knew that I could leverage my knowledge of like marketing and human resources to help myself as much as I can, because I don't have other attributes like graphic design and other stuff. So those are the areas that I would need to lean on others to help me with. So knowing that I wanted to focus more on the crochet aspect of the business, I focused first on crochet designs and recruiting people to help me, because I generally work best when I'm working with other people. And I also knew that you can't really grow a business unless you have the capacity to scale. So this made sense in one of the first things that I focused on, recruiting people. I also knew that it was important to have really good pictures, make sure that they're clear. And because I also love photography, like I'm not a photographer per se, like I've never gone to like university or anything for it, but I like looking at pictures and I have an idea of how I want them to look when people are wearing my crochet products. So I enjoyed the creative aspect of setting up photos so that they displayed my products really nicely in images. And then from there, I focused a lot on activities I wanted to participate in order to promote my products. And it eventually got to a point where an opportunity was presented to me to bring my products to Hollywood. And I knew it was rolling the dice because the travel and the materials and everything was a huge undertaking for somebody who was so new to just selling my handmade items. But I rolled the dice and I made decisions on how I was going to do it, leveraging the people I had to help me and ways to keep it efficient and cost effective. When I got to Hollywood, then I was presented with like a lot of wonderful opportunities. Fortunately, when you have a good product, it's not difficult for people to provide you more opportunities because they see how people are responding to it and they want to see more of your product, and then the opportunities grow. So after I went to the Golden Globe Awards, then I was invited to New York Fashion Week, and that's when I ended up meeting Whoopi Goldberg. And this is a story I haven't really shared yet. I remember I was at the luxury lounge for New York Fashion Week, and all the celebrities and everything were being driven around to all the fashion shows. And then while I was just kind of like talking to another artisan that was there, Whoopi Goldberg walked in. And she could only stay for a little bit because she was on the way to a taping of her show. So then the producer of the event like knew her, so he brought her directly to my booth because he knew she loved hats and he knew that I loved making them. So he brought her right over to me, and then I got to like speak to her and style her in a hat. And it was interesting because after I put her in a hat that she picked, she was like, "Do you mind if I just leave it on because I have to go to a taping of my show?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." so so she kept the hat on, and it was a wonderful experience because I knew she was on The View. I personally loved her in The Color Purple and both Sister Act movies. And a Ghost. I think she should have won the Academy Award for The Color Purple, but she won for Ghost for supporting actress. But anyway, I love Whoopi Goldberg. But anyway, the time I started my business, I didn't have a lot of time to watch television. So a lot of people would tell me that she would be on the show wearing my hat. So I was so super pleased. Sometimes people would send me pictures of her wearing the gray hat, and it was just such an honor and a privilege. But anyway, I was fortunate that the exposure allowed me to continue promoting my brand. But regardless of whether or not you're going to take part in huge events or small events, it's important to think about what sort of events and promotional activities will make the most sense for you. And that's what I really focused on. After I did a few of those different like Hollywood and New York shows and that sort of thing, I knew that I couldn't be spending all my time going away because what really needed to be done was for the business to be built. I needed to be speaking to retailers. I needed to be developing my online, creating new styles for my hats and accessories. So, I mean, you can't spend all your time promoting. Nowadays, you even have to be careful how much you're on social media. Even I have to be careful how much I'm on social media. I limit it to strictly the kind of stuff that I need to do for interacting with my customers and promoting the business. But you have to make sure that you don't get sucked in and you spend all of your time on social media, because it will end up eating away at your productivity and the time that you really need to spend in your business, generating sales, interacting with your customers, and creating really great product to sell to your customers. Now, eventually, as I was selling, I was finding that it was easier to find and speak to the people who liked my product. So the more that people were willing to share with me what they thought about my product, the more that I was able to like reinvest my time, my income, and my knowledge into developing products that were just right for them. And I did it at a pace where I wasn't constantly like slamming products down my customer's throat. I did it in a way where I knew that I could create a quality product my customers were interested in buying. I really focused on who they were, where they shop, what other clothes they wear when they wear my products, where do my products hang. All of this information was super helpful to give me an idea of like which retailers to approach to carry my line, or how to style my products when it was in a photo shoot. Like, should I put the model in a pair of running shoes, or do I style them in a pair of boots, or do I put them in an outdoor or indoor setting? I just looked at the customer that I was serving and thought, how are they picturing themselves wearing these things? And that's how I would position my product. And that's how organically I grew, I observed, and I continue to address the needs of my customers. If you're curious how I break all of this stuff down and how I develop this into a system, I can put a link below. If you'd like to speak to me one-on-one, we can chat for free. And if you're interested on how I built my business, I ended up putting everything I learned into a course to teach. So it's in a systematic way that you can apply everything, and then you know which steps to do next, and you're not guessing like I I had to. It's entirely the reason that I decided to go onto YouTube, because I was thinking, if other people were struggling and I had to take this long or this period of time to figure out what I was doing and feel certain about it, I'm telling you, the biggest problem was feeling certain about the decision I would have to make and brave enough to move forward with it. Often I would make a decision and not move forward. Later, when I eventually moved forward, I would be like, okay, that worked. But now that I know what works and doesn't work, I put it all together so you won't have to figure a lot of the hard stuff out. So if you're interested in checking it out, I put a lot of the strategies and things that I've learned into the course. I'll put a link below. You can schedule a free call, see if you're interested in it. And if you are and it's the right time for your business, great. Also, I recently released a video on how to start up a super easy Shopify shop. So check it out in this video over here. I'll also put the link below too. And friends, the next 3 pieces of information are probably the most important golden nuggets that I hope you walk away with. Turning your craft into a business doesn't have to be daunting. It's about, firstly, having a good product, knowing what you want to achieve, and articulating your vision. Second, knowing who your customer is and constantly refining that so you know how to speak to him or her, and you know how to show your product in images that you know they're going to love and connect with, so that you'll be able to focus your marketing and promotion efforts specifically instead of like grasping at straws at different kinds of concepts. I constantly study my customers still every day so that I know how to service them and to speak to them and really delight them in the experience of purchasing from me. Third, and most important, commit to always learning. To this day, I am still learning. Like the technology that I have learned in the past year it blows my mind. I don't think I learned this much in university. Also, the very most important thing is having success in your business is actually not a forever long ongoing pursuit of an ultimate goal. It's not something once you achieve it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm happy now for life. It is an ongoing activity and it's an ongoing journey. Success in your business is not an achievement of your goal. It's an expression of the joy that you get from doing your craft. In that, you can know that you are a success from the start, not later, not further along down the road, but today, because you are expressing your creativity in your business right now, even the day you get started. And that is the real truth to success. So now, friends, it's your turn. If there is anything that was useful or helpful that struck you in this video, please go ahead and leave a comment, hit the like button or dislike button, whichever. And remember, if there's anything I can help you with, then continue watching my videos. And if you want to really dive deeper, then I will leave the link below if you want to contact me and talk about whether or not my course is the right thing for you right now. So in the meantime, friends, have a safe, healthy, and happy handmaking life, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.